o'clock, fans. Here we go. Game 5, Edmonton and Dallas. And a nice, stress-free, relaxing hockey game. And nothing to worry about. Nothing at all. Nothing at all to worry about. So, in terms of the teams that are going to be playing in this game, selfishly, obviously, I've been kind of hoping Dallas would make a series of this. I would really like them to get a win tonight because that would give my Panthers a few more days rest for when the Stanley Cup Finals are going to start. Now, can Dallas do that? You would like to think so because it's at home, right? But then again, Panthers just closed out their series on the road. And I have a feeling, as much as I would like Dallas to win this game to extend the series, I do suspect that now that Edmonton sees that it actually is Florida waiting for them, I kind of might feel like the motivation level might have just got taken up a notch. Like, there's nothing quite like the motivation for revenge. So, much as I would like to see Dallas extend this series and the Cup get moved a few days later, Dallas is not the team that I would count on. So, I'm hopeful. Maybe we'll get an overtime game. There hasn't been any overtime games, right? No. Yeah, because game 1, they came back and it didn't even need overtime. There have been no overtime games in the conference finals at all. I want Dallas to win, but I think Edmonton's going to win this game just because what I just said. So, past that, Hyman is out. Ekholm is in. And for Dallas, it's just going to come down to energy. Which team is going to show up? The team that played a good 10 minutes in game 1 in the third period, or the team that's played the rest of the series? I don't know. Rantanen, you single-handedly beat Colorado. Hello? Is this thing on? Let's find out. Wow. That was a whole game in the first period. It's 3-1 Edmonton. So Dallas comes out, immediately takes the stupid bonehead penalty. And so let me see if I can get the order. Corey Perry, Janmark, and Skinner, or maybe it was Skinner then Janmark. Whatever the deal was, they get up 3-0. They left Corey Perry wide open in front of the net on the power play. And after the second one, I believe that was the Corey Perry one, DeBoer calls a timeout. He tries to do a Paul Maurice impression where he's like barking at the guys on the bench. I've seen TED Talks with more chutzpah. And then he pulls hotter and puts in Casey DeSmith, who immediately gives up a goal 5-hole that's so bad that he's still looking for the puck and trying to stop the guy in front of him from putting the puck in the back of the net, and it's been behind him for 3 seconds. And then, of course, Dallas does get one back. Robertson gets one back, so it's 3-1. They made a hell of a push. Skinner made one save that really should have been 3-2. He made a hell of a save. We didn't really see a replay for it, so I'd like to see it again. But Skinner's playing well. But Dallas just came out absolutely just not even dog shit. To call them dog shit in the beginning of that game would have been an insult to dog shit because you love your dog. And sometimes if they shit, you just have to accept it. There was nothing acceptable about what the Stars put out on the ice at the beginning of that period. So I understand what the board was trying to do. I'm going to assume Andre's going to go back into the game. He's not really going to play DeSmith the whole rest of the game now, right? Dallas is still in it. It's only a 2-goal lead. There's plenty of time, right? So we'll see Otter. He's going to put him back in, right? So, all right. So that was just one period of play. Unbelievable. Dallas took another stupid penalty but killed it off. I don't see anything in this game other than Edmonton toying with their food like they say the Panthers do. If Dallas comes back and wins this game, I will wear this jersey inside out and backwards for the rest of the night. Not really much, but that's how much faith they're not going to win, right? They can't win. Edmonton's good. Edmonton is good. Dallas is not good. That pretty much says it all. Well, Dallas. You do all the work, not to come all the way back, but you do just a whole ass period's worth of work to get the game to 3-2. You finally get the crowd back into it, and you've got some juice, and you had a power play, and you score a goal. And a minute later, 2 minutes later, you do the one stupid thing you can't do against Edmonton, which is allow McDavid to get free on a breakaway. And you got Casey DeSmith still in the net, which the discussion that's going to happen, in my opinion anyway, about DeBoer taking out Ottinger and leaving him out, I'm stunned, to be honest with you. Now, they gave up the 2 quick goals. You pull Otter. You want to try to spark your team. Okay. I mean, that's pushing it because it's only 2 goals. That's pushing it. But my opinion was there was absolutely no questions asked that Otter was going to be back in to start the second period. And that's it. The Smith is the guy. He gave up the 1 goal again to McDavid, and then he basically gave up another goal, but Rantanen was there to catch it right before it crossed over the goal line. But it was a weak, it just kind of got through him. And what I wonder is what's the relationship now between DeBoer and Otter going to be? Otter's a freaking Vezina caliber goalie for the most part, right? And he's gotten them this far. And yeah, you gave up a couple of goals, but one of them was Corey Perry alone right in front of the net. Just really, really, I don't want to call it gutsy because it could have paid off, I guess, but leaving DeSmith in really surprised me, to be honest with you. And so now they're just riding with him, and it's 4-2, and I would suspect that Dallas will get within a goal and get their fans hoping again. But in the end, I mean, Edmonton's just got too many. You got McDavid, you got Draisaitl. You don't so much have Hyman, but Corey Perry's unstoppable now. You know what I mean? So I think in the end it is, even if Dallas was to come back and get this sucker tied, I would expect that the big dogs for Edmonton will take this over and win at some point, even if it takes overtime, which we haven't had any overtimes in the conference finals like we talked about. So past that, if this continues, I guess the Stanley Cup finals will start on Wednesday. And all I can say about that is that I find it very interesting myself as a Panther fan that after decades of not doing much of anything, I'm sitting in the chair streaming the game, complaining that I didn't want the finals to start on Wednesday. I wanted them to start on Saturday so we'd have a couple more days off. That's how you know you've become very spoiled as a hockey fan when you're complaining about when your team is going to start their 3rd straight Stanley Cup finals. Yeah. All right. Let's finish this up. Well, Wednesday. Oh, boy. Dallas just not good enough. I am very interested to see or to hear, to watch, to take part in the discussion about DeBoer and pulling Ottinger and all of that. For me, I would be lying if I said I didn't understand what he was trying to do. He was trying to put a spark into the team. At 2-0 early in the first period, yikes. That is a huge gamble. But I understand what he's trying to do in that moment. But then to leave him out for the rest of the game, not that it was terribly DeSmith's fault or something like that. Dallas just can't play with Edmonton. They do not have the legs. They don't have the energy. They don't have the desire. They don't have the coach. And at the end, they didn't even have the goalie. So that was pretty much ass whooping by the Oilers, much in the same way that it was ass whooping for the Panthers against the Canes. And that would make sense since these were the 2 best teams last year. And guess what? They are again. Now, I'm not going to get into a series preview here. All I will say is that the last series went 7 games, but there was no overtimes. So I have no idea. I don't know what to think about what that series is going to be, but we don't have to worry about that right now. I was hoping Dallas would win, so Panthers would have an extra day off, extra couple of days off, but that's not the case. It's going to be Wednesday, and then Friday. I would assume game 2 would be Friday, unless they're not going to give us an extra day just to have a weekend game. So I would assume it's Wednesday and Friday. I'm curious to see what happens with DeBoer. I mean, that's 3 straight finals, conference finals that you lose. This was bad. And I'm not taking anything away from Edmonton. Edmonton's a really good team, obviously. But losing this way with your goalie out on purpose, I mean, you're putting your balls right on the plate there when you pull Ottinger. It's freaking Otter, you know what I'm trying to say. That was a move where you're like, well, here's my job on the line. You know what I mean? And Smith did okay. I mean, he gave up 3 more, right? One of them was a McDavid breakaway, which, the other one went off of a defenseman's skate there in the crease, so you can't really blame Smith for that. The third one, would Otter have saved the one that, that made it 3-0? Would he have made that save? No, he had just given up a 5-0 goal. So no matter how you slice it, Dallas just can't cut it. They weren't beaten. They were not beating this team with Otter in there at all. You would have needed Otter and Hellebuyck in net at the same time at this rate to beat Edmonton. So only good thing out of this game that I saw for Florida is Skinner gave up a 5-hole goal, so it's possible maybe his run of elite play is going to taper into more like his average play, which we're probably going to need if we're going to get another one of these signs. But we'll talk about that over the next few days. I'll be live tomorrow at noon. I'll be live noon every day. Every day at this point until the series starts. While the series is going, and then after it goes, we'll stay live and do most days, really, because once the finals are over, it's going to be free agency within 10 days, unless the finals are over really, really quick. So, all right, Dallas, that wasn't even close. It wasn't close. You had one good period of hockey, one good period. Did they outscore Edmonton? I guess they outscored them in the second period. Let's see, it was 3-0. They just got the ass whooped. That's really all you can say about that entire series is Edmonton whooped the ass. I'll see you tomorrow at noon.